Welcome to a tea tasting session of Assam CTC tea. We are starting with the measurement. Ideally the measurement is 2.5 grams for infusion purpose. Ekhini cups and bowls are specifically for tea tasting purpose. These are not available otherwise. What we have here for you is own leaf of Gautam tea estate and purchase leaf of Sangsua tea estate. As I said, it is CTC tasting. There are two categories. There is orthodox and CTC. These are the two primary categories of tea that are manufactured. In Assam, maximum is CTC because the inherent climatic condition of Assam is very favorable for good quality, strong CTC tea that is famous in Assam for more than 100 years. After the 2.5 grams of leaf that has been put, we'll be adding hot water for brewing. This is a very critical process because tea tasting has been done for more than 100 years, ever since commercial cultivation of tea started. And it is a very important process because based in this process, the price is determined, the quality is determined, and because tea is very market oriented, customer centric, it is absolutely crucial that all the production is tasted in order to channelize the right tea into the right market. Assam tea is very popular for the color and the body. Body as in the flavor, the taste. Apna loa loge loge, apna in your mouth there is a very distinct flavor and taste, as well as briskness. That is a characteristics of Assam tea. In India, there is CTC production in South India as well, North Bengal also. The quality characteristics are a little different. An orthodox manufacturer is in Nilgiris, Uti, Kunnur, and also Himachal. There, the basic difference in orthodox is that the teas are not strong. Rather, the teas are more flavorable. So, orthodox tea you can have with milk, you can have without milk. Because the inherent taste is very flavorable, because the process is different. And CTC, as the term says, cut, tear and curl, is a cutting process, whereas orthodox is a rolling process. Orthodox was the first type of manufacture when tea got established. But later, the CTC variety started coming in. So, orthodox is very flavorable, CTC is very strong. Market for CTC is larger. Orthodox is primarily consumed abroad, so there is a big export market. But CTC is primarily consumed within India, very high consumption, and other parts of the world as well. So, after we have put the water, we are allowing the brewing process to take place for 3 to 4 minutes, whereby the tea leaf will be correctly brewed and the correct characteristics will be available to the taster for evaluating. To cut short of the time, now what happens is, once the production process is over, production is completely a garden oriented process located in various parts of Assam. Production process is one, and the next process after production is the tasting process, the post-production process. So tasting actually falls in the post-production stage. Tasting is primarily done by two category of organization. One is the tea broking house. Tea broking house are brokers, registered brokers, who are authorized to check value and evaluate the tea. And second organization is the tea blenders. The tea blenders are also doing tasting, but for a completely different purpose. They are doing it for their blends. Like for example, in the market in departmental stores, all the tea packets that you find, those are all blended tea. So that also requires a type of tasting that is done by the blenders, and this tasting is done by tea auctioneers or tea brokers for the purpose of, as I mentioned earlier, price evaluation, quality determination and market penetration. A tea broker has 2-3 functions. Number one function is the tea taster, who is available within the tea broking house. He or she tastes the tea for quality. Then there is the marketing team. They market a certain garden in certain parts of the country based on the marketing strategy. Then there is a manufacturing advisor who is available in the various gardens to give any input about correction of manufacture. These are the branches of a tea broker. There are many tea brokers in India. The oldest is J. Thomas and Company. Then there is Contemporary Brokers. Then there is Assam Tea Brokers. Then there is Pakon India and a few others who are registered. They are operating in Coonoor, Cochin, Coimbatore, Kolkata, Guwahati and Siliguri. So we will quickly get into the tasting aspect. As I said, once the teas are produced, the teas are sent to the auctions held in these 6 places I mentioned: Kolkata, Guwahati, Siliguri, Cochin, Coimbatore, Coonoor. Once the teas are packed and sent, the teas are catalogued for the purpose of the buyer to check. A typical catalog is this, where you will have the garden name, where you will have the various grades, the year, the date of manufacture, total net kg, total gross kg, and this will be available to the buyer for the buyer to decide, as he has a catalog, so he can decide what he wants to buy. So the buyer is also actually doing a tasting. He is also tasting based on his market requirement. A buyer has many sub-buyers, so he's giving out those samples to the buyers, and those buyers are giving him a feedback on which tea to purchase, at what price, what maximum limit, lower limit, etc. So this is a typical catalog that we have for you. Here we have Namrup Tea Estate, Diflu Tea Estate and Chabua Tea Estate, and their details are mentioned. CTC teas are divided in different grades. The 3 primary grades are the Brokens, Fannings and Dust. Brokens are the grainier grades. Fannings are slightly leafy, and Dust, as the name suggests, is very dusty in appearance. These 3 different variation of grades produce 3 different types of liquor. So a Dust will be giving you a very strong cup, whereas a grainier tea will be giving you slightly lighter cup. As I mentioned in the beginning, tea is very customer oriented, very market oriented. Therefore, what could be your favorite may not be my favorite. So in terms of the taste, it completely depends upon taste, and a lot of people like to blend. There are 3 aspects in tea tasting. First is the dry leaf. As the name suggests, the dry leaf. Evaluation of the dry leaf. Second is evaluation of the infusion. And third is the evaluation of the liquor. The dry leaf is evaluated for its evenness of size, cleanness, and in order to ensure that there is no mixing of the grade. The infusion is a very critical aspect. The infusion determines, or the infusion gives us an indication of the quality of the tea, or also the keeping quality of the tea. The brighter this infusion, that tea will stay in the shelf for a longer period of time. Little darker the infusion, that tea will not stay in the shelf for a very long period of time. The infusion also indicates a certain deviations in manufacture that the tea taster is able to evaluate and recommend the garden to do some rectification, because tea is a very seasonal product. In Assam, right from April till December there is production, and this entire period the quality is varying. There is a variation, so you will not get a similar quality in the entire period. Therefore, this is a very critical aspect for the tea taster in order to help in evaluating the tea, getting the value, and ensuring that it gets the good price in the market. And lastly, of course, the liquor, because a liquor apnar color is a very important factor. As I said, the other organization who does tasting is the blenders. So those blenders who are purchasing tea, তেখেতসকলে color to বহুত চাই, যদি color to bright হয় তেখেতসকলে blendত যায়, আৰু if the color is dull, similarly the price will be lower, the market will be different. And this liquor is tasted with milk and also without milk. So we will be doing both the exercise. So as of now we have put only without milk in order to see the inherent quality, the briskness, the bright, the body, the flavor of the cup, and then we will add milk to see the color of the cup, whether the color is holding. Eight entire aspect is very, very critical, and these are the primary aspects. A taster is actually a person who has a very good memory, because a taster has to evaluate a lot of teas in a day, 500, 600 cups, at times even 1200 cups. And so he has to have a very good memory about that particular garden, how it is producing at that point of the year, compared to last year, how it was producing. And keeping all these factors in mind, within 1 to 2 minutes, he has to take a decision on the three aspects and give his verdict. Because as I said, there are 1200, 1500 cups to taste, so it has to be a fast process. So here what we have done is, as I have just shown you the three processes. The two differences that we have put out here for your information is that one is the own leaf and one is the bought leaf production, which is very common in India nowadays. These are purchased leaf. So there are 4 or 5 different people who are supplying this leaf, and there is no uniformity in the leaf. But this is the own leaf. So gardens which are using their own leaf and manufacturing. So there is a slight difference in the quality. Definitely this is superior. That you will be able to see here. And as I'm just skipping a little bit, going to the infusion that I mentioned is very important. This is a BP of a purchased leaf, and this is a BP of a own leaf. As you can see, this is slightly brighter. For a layman it will be very difficult initially, but after regular practice, after regular tasting, it's easier to notice these variations. So first of all, we are checking the leaf quickly. As we can see here, this is very black, jet black, very evenly sized. There is no fiber, there is no brownishness. So this is definitely a good quality leaf. Infusion is fair, could be better, because this production is of September. September is towards the end season, so there is a little bit drop in the leaf quality. So therefore, it does affect the infusion. Not to that extent. This I'm just giving as a comparison purpose. And then we are looking at the liquor. As you can see, it is very bright. And a taster actually tastes just one sip. He just takes one sip, swirls it around his mouth, and immediately spits it out. And within that split second, he takes a decision on the characteristics. So we are trying to do the same exercise for you. We take a sip. So this cup is got a good body, nice briskness. And now we'll add some milk and we'll see the color. As I said, this is towards the end season, so there is a slight drop in color, which is which is quite common actually for this time of the year. Having said that, this is a good cup. Similarly, we'll do the same exercise for all the 4 different grades that we have here, and then you can see the difference in color. Finer the grain, deeper the color. This is a bolder grain, this is a finer grain. So here you can see how this is tending to be little pale, while this is being little bright. Because this is a dust grade and the cup is also likely to be more strong. This is how it is done, and then immediately after this evaluation is done, going back to the catalog, the tea taster puts a value for that particular grade. That value in commercial term is called valuation, and based on that valuation the tea will be offered for sale in the auction, and most of the time the tea does not sell below that valuation. On a very rare occasion, 1 out of 100 cases, sometimes it does fall below the valuation, but normally after tasting the valuation that has been put, that acts as a benchmark, or rather not a benchmark, that acts as a indicator to the buyer and to his sub-buyers that this is the overall value of the tea, and the bidding process will start from that value. The established form of auctioning was the physical auction that used to take place in a big hall with about 70-80 buyers and 2 people with a hammer banging on the lines of the catalogue. But nowadays, for the last 5 to 6 years, the entire auctioning process has gone online. Ajikali eta portal ase tea boardor jot gotekhini sa available thake as per the catalogue, aru there is a fixed time frame within which the bidding process takes place and the final price is closed. So amar yat bahut guest ahe june tea tasting to koribo bisare ba janibo bisare tea tasting to ki ami heikini kotha tekhotokolok bujai diu. প্লাছ আমি তেখেতসকলক হেল্প কৰোঁ বাই দিছ ইন দিছ প্ৰচেছ টু বাই দ্য ৰাইট কাইণ্ড অফ টি একৰ্ডিং টু দেয়াৰ টেষ্ট আৰু এটা বস্তু আমি পাইছোঁ আমাৰ এইখিনি যেতিয়া যিমানখিনি গেষ্ট আহিছে বহুতৰ বহুত কুৱেশ্যনছ থাকে যে টি মেনুফেকচাৰ টেষ্টিং সেই গোটেই প্ৰচেছটো ইমান ইণ্টিগ্ৰেট কমপ্লেক্স প্ৰচেছ বহুতে এইটো গম নাপায় আমাৰ গেষ্ট মহাৰাষ্ট্ৰ গুজৰাট কৰ্ণাটকা as well as from abroad also we have had guests and they find this very interesting because once they come to know যে ইমানখিনি process involved আছে তেখেতসকলৰ appreciation to the tea becomes even more that we also feel happy about and in this process we are in a very small way আমি চেষ্টা এটা কৰি আছোঁ যে টি টেষ্টিং টু কি টি টু কি আমাৰ গেষ্টক আমি সেই এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চটো দিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰোঁ ডিউৰিং দ্য ছিজন আমি ফেক্টৰীটো লৈ যাওঁ ফিল্ডতো লৈ যাওঁ ফিল্ডত কিখিনি অপাৰেশ্যনছ আছে তাৰপিছত ফেক্টৰীত কিখিনি চাইমেণ্টেনিয়াছ অপাৰেশ্যনছ হয় সেই গোটেইখিনি প্ৰচেছটো আমি দেখুৱাই দিওঁ বুজাই দিওঁ and we have had a very good feedback from the guest and we hope to continue in this way.